In a small town nestled between quiet roads and dense forests, a young couple brought home their newborn baby Noah. Their home wasn't just filled with the new joys and fears of parenthood. It was also home to Rex, a large, imposing German Shepherd mix. To the outside world, Rex was the aggressive dog, a creature of fear and unpredictability. But Rex wasn't born this way. His aggression was a shield, forged in the fires of a past trauma. Years before Noah's arrival, a brutal attack by another dog had shattered his trust in the world. He became a shadow in his own home, growling at strangers, snapping at sudden noises, and retreating into corners, a silent plea to be left alone. The couple was terrified. How would this broken, fearful dog react to a fragile, helpless baby? The thought of giving him up was agonizing. They had raised him for years. He was family, scars and all. They couldn't abandon him now. The first few days with Noah were a tightrope walk of tension. Every time the baby cried, Rex's ears would shoot up, his body would stiffen, and a low, confused growl would rumble in his chest. It wasn't the sound of anger, but of deep-seated uncertainty. To be safe, the parents kept them apart. The baby had his room, and Rex had his. The house was divided by a wall of fear. But one evening, everything changed. Noah began to cry, his wails louder and more insistent than ever before. The father rushed to the kitchen to prepare a bottle while the mother was in the shower. In the hurried moments, the door to Noah's room was left slightly ajar. Seizing the opportunity, Rex nudged it open with his nose and slipped inside. A wave of panic washed over the parents when they realized what had happened. They raced to the room, hearts pounding, fearing the worst. But the scene that met their eyes left them breathless. The aggressive dog wasn't growling. He stood beside the crib, his head tilted, listening intently to the baby's cries. Then, with a slowness and gentleness that seemed impossible, he placed a heavy paw on the edge of the crib and let out a soft, almost broken whine. In that instant, Noah fell silent. The room was filled with an unspoken understanding, a connection that defied logic, a bond just beginning to form between a broken animal and a brand new soul. From that night on, Rex transformed. He became obsessed with Noah, not in a dangerous, predatory way, but with the unwavering devotion of a guardian. Every cry, every whimper from the baby was a summons that Rex was the first to answer. He would stand sentinel outside Noah's door, his tail low, his ears perpetually alert. When the mother carried Noah through the house, Rex would trail a few paces behind, his eyes never leaving them, a silent, furry soldier guarding his tiny king. The parents slowly began to understand. Noah was the only living being Rex completely trusted. The baby held no judgment, no fear of Rex's past. He didn't see the scars or the trauma. He simply existed in a state of pure, innocent peace. And in that peace, Rex began to find his own. The baby's presence was a balm to his wounded spirit, a quiet reassurance that not everything in the world was a threat. He was slowly, cautiously, learning to trust again, all because of a tiny human who didn't know how to do anything but love. One windy afternoon, a moment of calm turned into chaos. The mother had placed Noah's crib near a large window, letting the warm sunlight wash over him. She stepped away for just a minute to answer the front door, unaware that the window's lock was old and loose. The gentle breeze suddenly escalated into a powerful gust, and with a terrifying crash, the window slammed open. The force of the wind shook the crib violently, causing one of its wheels to slip over the small ledge of a decorative step in the floor. The crib teetered, just moments from toppling over. The instant the window crashed open, Rex bolted from the hallway like a blur of fur and muscle. All the parents heard was a heavy thud, a sharp, loud bark, and then a painful whimper. They ran into the room, their blood running cold. There was Rex, wedged between the tipping crib and the floor. His body was a living barricade, absorbing the weight and stopping it from falling. The crib had landed hard on his shoulder, and he was whimpering in pain, but he refused to move. He held his ground, his body trembling, protecting the baby with every ounce of his strength. The father quickly lifted the crib to safety while the mother, crying with shock and relief, scooped up her son. Only then did Rex, his duty done, collapse onto the floor, his body finally succumbing to the pain. At the vet's office, the diagnosis confirmed their fears. Rex had badly strained a muscle and severely bruised his shoulder from the impact. He was in considerable pain. But even in that sterile, unfamiliar room, his focus remained singular. When Noah, who had come along for the trip, let out a small cry, Rex immediately tried to get up. wincing as pain shot through his body, his eyes desperately searching for the baby. The veterinarian watched the scene unfold, shaking his head in disbelief. "I've been doing this for 30 years, he whispered to the parents, "and I've never seen loyalty like this." It was in that moment that the couple truly saw Rex for who he was. He wasn't an aggressive dog. He wasn't a problem or a burden. He was a guardian, a hero born from brokenness who had found his own healing in the pure, unconditional love of a child. He was their family's protector, and they finally, fully understood the depth of his heart. Weeks went by and Rex's recovery was slow but steady. His limp gradually faded, and his strength returned. But something fundamental inside him had shifted forever. He now slept on the floor beside Noah's crib every single night. He wasn't told to. It was a post he took up willingly. It was his place. His purpose. As Noah grew from a baby into a toddler, learning to crawl, then to walk, then to run with gleeful laughter, Rex was his constant shadow. He was the furry pillar Noah grabbed onto to pull himself up for his first wobbly steps. He was the patient companion who endured clumsy hugs and curious tugs on his ears. The neighbors, who once crossed the street to avoid him, now watched in wonder. "He isn't the same dog anymore," they'd say, and they were right. The fear in his eyes had been replaced by a soft, watchful love. Time hadn't healed him, but love had remade him completely. Years later, on Noah's 5th birthday, the walls of their home were a gallery of memories. In every picture there was a boy and his guardian. A boy who learned to walk by clutching the fur of a dog who once trusted no one. A dog who found his purpose in the gentle heart of a child. Rex was no longer the aggressive, fearful animal he once was. He was simply Rex, a member of the family, a living testament to the healing power of love, his paws and scars telling a story of redemption. And Noah? He grew up knowing a profound truth that he often shared with anyone who would listen. He'd point to his best friend and say, with all the certainty a 5-year-old can muster, "That dog saved me. And I saved him too. Thank you for watching." If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content that celebrates the incredible bond between humans and animals.